Okay, good morning, everyone. Uh, the reason why this question came up is, well, it was talking about how it doesn't really appear much when it comes to cell phones. That's the last time I've heard it, and that got replaced with Wi-Fi, wireless, and Bluetooth. And that was the last time I heard of it. So I just got curious and I started reading up on it. So is infrared still a thing? Short answer, it is. It really is. It'd be silly if it wasn't, because it's very prevalent. So my talk is just going to be on some of the many, many uses that it has in modern day. Okay, so firstly, what is infrared technology? Well, infrared technology is technology that utilizes infrared. Infrared radiation. Infrared is electromagnetic radiation. Has a wavelength that's longer than visible light and shorter than radio waves. It's invisible to the human eye, and it's produced by heat. So almost anything that produces heat produces infrared radiation, which becomes useful in many ways. Right, before going on, there's two main ways that technology uses infrared. Either it's trying to detect it or it's trying to transmit it, either through heat or sending data through. So here are some of the common uses of infrared technology. First will be thermal imaging. It picks up on, the different temperatures, and they show up as different intensities of infrared to give you a concrete image, which is good for surveillance and maintenance. The second would be night vision goggles. It allows you to capture images that you wouldn't be able to see normally through visible light when it's very dark. It's used prevalently in military. Then there's remote controls. Yeah, almost all remote controls use infrared to transmit simple commands to other devices to do something, either open, close, on or off, so on and so forth. Medical imaging. It can be used to look at heat patterns, see the temperatures of the body to diagnose the state of the body. Security systems, it's used in security systems, infrared cameras, motion detectors, and so on. Fire detectors, yeah, you're detecting heat, so if a fire is about to start, it would most likely detect it as very intense infrared heat. Meteorology, the weather. Look at heat. Satellite infrared looks at heat, cloud patterns, and so on to predict the weather. It's used in cars, for automotive self-driving cars. It uses infrared cameras to pick up on images to know what and what not to avoid. It's used in astrology. It's where the telescopes projects infrared and then see what comes back. Then quality control and environmental monitoring. Some other uses I picked up, which aren't on the slide, is it's used in fiber optic cables, and also radiation therapy, saunas, and electric heaters and stoves. So some more not well-known uses. It's used in art authentication. See picks up on if there's any traces left of tampering, and so on. Archaeology, it's been used in archaeology. It's been used in agriculture. It's also been used in veterinary medicine, looking at the state of animals, as well as psychology, stress detection, sports sciences, food quality control, and smart fabrics. Next is looking at some emerging technologies that could either complement or replace it. So first we have light detection and ranging. It's a remote sensing technology that uses laser pulses to measure and create detailed 3D maps. So this could potentially complement or replace conventional infrared imaging, as it gives a more detailed image. Then there's other advanced imaging sensors, which could be stuff like quantum sensors and advanced photon detectors. Then there's artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence could utilize infrared technology to better help assist in certain areas as well. Then there's graphene and nanotechnology. Advances in material sciences, such as graphene and other nanomaterials, could lead to development of more efficient and sensitive sensors that could compete with infrared. Then there's also quantum technology. Again, making sensors based on quantum technology to replace the conventional infrared sensors or to complement them. So what are the advantages and limitations of infrared? So the advantages is that it's easy to use. There's limited installation, and there's the low cost. It doesn't use as much energy. It's more energy efficient. It's also reliable in that it's a very well-known technology. It's been around for a long time. And then it's secure in the fact that it can't get intercepted. But the limitations are the range is very limited. It needs a line of sight. So even though it can't be intercepted, it can be blocked by objects. Again, susceptible to other interferences, such as sunlight and other electronic devices. And the limited data transfer rate. Yeah, transferring data through infrared is pretty slow compared to other ways of transferring data. So the reason why it's not used in cell phones is, again, the limited range and speed. Less and less phones are being made to be compatible with it, because with infrared, you need to install it in both devices for them to communicate. Space constraints. As cell phones got smaller and smaller, there was less space to put stuff in it. It was between Bluetooth and infrared, or yeah, they chose the latter. It's longer range. Looking at the future trends, the future of this technology, well, it's hard to predict technologies as they're ever expanding, or people looking at different ways of using it. But in generally now, development in this area is looking at ways to render higher quality images from it. Next would be how it can be integrated with artificial intelligence. Then looking at how other emerging technologies can compete with it, as seen in the last slide. Let's see, miniaturization and portability, making the devices smaller and more portable so it's more accessible to the general public. And then looking at more environmental applications, as almost all forms of life produce some form of heat, which is some form of infrared. So what is the conclusion? Is infrared still a thing? Yes, it is. It's very prevalent. Some of the examples I've gone through are just one of many. Is it still going to be prevalent in the future? Yes, it is. Most likely, as people are finding new ways to apply it, new ways to improve on it. And even though there are emerging technologies that could replace some functions of infrared, some of the advantages and what it actually does are still essential in heat detection and thermal imaging and so on.